welcome to Cybertopia Season 2. This is the first ever session of Season 2. So, yeah, we will start with introducing the players and their characters, and then we'll get into the actual gameplay and what's happening since the Season 1 finale, where you all got blown up. So, let's start from the top of my list. Basil, you're up first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Basil. I play Clarity, who I did not give a last name. I should at some point.
Single name monikers are fine.
Yeah, Clarity is a hacker who has a drone, but since everything blew up, a lot of tech gets damaged in explosions, so we'll see what Clarity's up to. Should be fun.
Yeah, I still feel a little bit bad about having killed basically Clarity's best friend. They're recoverable. It's fine. They'll be fine.
It builds character.
Yeah. Okay, KO.
Hi, I'm KO Myers. I am a freelance podcast producer editor at particulatemedia.com. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Bludgeon, who I envision as sort of a physical solution to every problem. He is a punching, kicking, headbutting kind of guy, and his pronouns are also he, him, and he is also a mononym. I never gave him a last name either, so I think we're in good company there, Basil.
Yeah. Jen, did Maurice have a surname? I don't recall.
Maurice is also a one-name kind of person.
Awesome. I'm pretty sure Pan's character Nox is also a one-name person. So you're just the one-name gang.
Okay, so we might need to ditch all of our plans and form an anti-surname league, it sounds like.
Jen, why don't you introduce yourself then?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jen. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a person who appears on podcasts, who just plays games, really. Normally find me with Omen Investigations or Tales from the Oasis right now. And I play Maurice, who is a former food service worker who lost their job to automation. And have been doing whatever they can to make ends meet until a building fell on them.
Yeah. And yeah, that brings us up to speed, basically. At the end of last season, you were all on a job for Amazing Core in various forms, approaching a building that apparently had enemies of Amazing Corp in it. And you all got a bit thrown under the bus and blown up as part of your mission. So, yeah.
Honestly, not the worst employer Maurice has ever had.
So you will come to in what appears to be some sort of makeshift field hospital. And you see each other across the room. You'd know each other from your time in Amazing Core, even if you hadn't had actual missions together. You'd recognize each other in that. So you all know of each other and know that you're all employees of Amazing Core, formerly in the Tabula Rasa department. You also see on one of the beds that there is Pan's character Nox, still unconscious, hasn't awoken from whatever they've gone through. Presumably you've all been in a coma for some time, but you're not sure exactly how long. There's some staff kind of buzzing around. No real indication of where you are, apart from just in this building somewhere. And a staff member notices you all and comes over and is like,
hello. I see you're all awake. Or most of you are awake. I suspect you all have a lot of questions, and honestly, so do we. My name is Laura. It's very nice to see you all awake. Could you just let me know who you are? Because we don't actually have any identification for any of you.
Do you have a warrant?
Oh, I'm not law enforcement or anything. This is a makeshift medic shelter that we've set up in the wake of the incident. I'm not sure how much any of you remember what occurred. We're hoping that maybe you can tell us some things yourselves.
Where are we?
I'm sorry?
What happened to my...
Oh, goodness. Would you like some water? I can go get some.
Yes, please.
So she'll toddle off and come back quickly with a cup of water to pass to you.
Excellent.
One of those old polystyrene style cups that you get in hospitals.
God, the nostalgia. I drink deeply, but my voice does not change. We're stuck with this now.
Okay, so whilst Maurice is downing a cup of water, she'll kind of turn to Bludgeon and be like,
So yes, hi, I'm Laura, and you are...
Suspicious.
Is that your name, or...?
Are you doctor?
Oh, no, I'm just a volunteer. We're all volunteers here. We've got some medical training, but we're really just trying to help.
Mm.
So the situation, you were all pulled out of a collapsed building out in the warehouse district. There was a lot of deaths and a huge explosion. Only a dozen or so people survived, and, well, you're some of them. The others have been spread about in various other shelters in the city, but you four... you three and the still unconscious gentleman over there, you are the ones that we've been given duty of care of. So I'm just here to make sure you're okay and try to find out what I can to help you. Like I said, we don't even know who you are, or where you're from, or anything. So any information you could give us would be wonderful.
She'll turn to Clarity now and be like,
You've not said anything. Are you in shock? Are you okay?
Clarity is looking around for Whisper, their drone. Is Whisper around?
Ah, yes. We did gather some of what seemed to be your belongings. There is this very odd collection of materials.
and she'll kind of pile a bowl of mechanical bits. And is Whisper kind of a spherical kind of drone, or what's their sort of look?
I always imagined Whisper kind of looking like if you made like a hamburger, but kind of like elongated it along the horizontal axis, you know? So kind of like shaped like that. So I imagine probably it's only like in that bowl, maybe like the front half of Whisper.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the bottom half of the burger bun.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she'll pass over this bowl of like bits that you would recognize as, oh yeah, at least some of that is Whisper, some of it is possibly something else. But yeah,
It's also a little bit like going to the vet and they're like, I'm sorry, your pet didn't survive. Here's a bowl full of bits.
Yeah, but notably, this does not have any living parts.
No, fair.
It's not a bowl of guts. It's a bowl of android guts, I guess.
I think that depends a little bit on Clarity's parasocial relationship with Whisper.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe Clarity feels like they're animated in some way, but I shouldn't speak for them.
Yeah. Clarity's gonna take the bowl and kind of like carefully sift through it, take out a few pieces and put it in their pockets and just look up at the person and say, "Thank you. My name is Clarity. You said only a handful of people were pulled out. Did you see any like children? Did the children make it out?"
Oh, yes. So there were a lot of deaths, but there was also a lot of civilians who managed to evacuate the building before the explosion occurred. There were some people who were living there, but there were also a lot of people who were not living there who were actually inside the building. The civilians who were living in a makeshift village below the building,
Oh, God.
it seems like they all escaped unharmed. Unfortunately, their homes have been destroyed, but yes, there was no fatalities amongst them.
That's good.
It seems like there was some sort of paramilitary operation going on. We're not entirely sure, to be honest.
Who exactly do you work for? You said you're volunteers?
So yes, I was drafted in by the Citizen Safety Patrol to assist with the recovery efforts, and some of my friends here have joined the effort. We're just volunteers trying to help the community, really.
Then would Clarity know what the Citizen Safety Patrol is?
I think you would have heard of it before. It's a small get up, one of the groups that kind of takes on some of the more municipal duties of the city that Amazing Corp just doesn't have any interest in.
Okay.
Maurice would have loved a job with them, but it's full of people who can afford to like volunteer their time.
They basically are a result of like what used to be cops and like the mayor's office and that sort of thing. Though, like since Amazing Corp now runs basically everything, these are the people that used to have those sorts of jobs.
I think Clarity's going to try to put as much of the tech into their pockets as possible and then sort of look around for some type of like plastic wrap basically to cover the top of the bowl and just say, I'm going to borrow this bowl for a bit. I'll give it back probably eventually, maybe in a couple of months. I thank you for the help, but I think we should go. We don't want to keep taking up beds from people who might need it.
Honestly, it's just you four that we're here to watch over. We do have some questions.
And she will also like pass some personal effects, or what they assumed are personal effects, to Bludgeon and Maurice. but like before she actually hands them over, she'll be like,
I would really like your name, just so I know how to address you. It doesn't have to be your real name. It's fine. I'm not going to write this down or anything. It's nice to be able to put a name to a face that I'm talking to and, have been looking after for the past week.
You can call me Steve.
Okay, nice to meet you, Steve.
And winks at Clarity. Very obviously with no subtlety. I'm pretty sure Bludgeon was wearing like a black stocking cap or knit cap for the mission. We'll go over and like stretch that over the top of the bowl to help to keep the parts in, and then there's probably like a ring of like soot or something under where the edge of the cap was from the explosion, and his head, which is completely shaved bald, is like bright pink compared to the dirt.
Squeaky cleaner. So what would it be that she passes to Bludgeon then? What items did he have on him?
So I'm picturing the tentacle gauntlets having sort of stayed on.
Okay.
And being like, cracked and burnt and everything.
Almost like fused to his wrist or something.
Yeah, I don't know that they would. Well, that's a good question. I guess I don't know that. So maybe those are in the bowl too. And then, the sensory halo that he was wearing around his forehead and around the back would probably be in there also. Again, like the faces of it probably a little cracked and chipped.
Maybe some wiring fraying out.
Yeah, a little bit. And he would look at them both and be like, because of course, Bludgeon has no capacity to like diagnose or repair any of this stuff. It was just as long as it functioned, it functioned. Mm-hmm. So yeah, probably also like just tosses them on the bed, looks at them briefly, and considers putting them on, but is not worried about them too much at this point.
Fair enough.
I am Steve. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Obviously, it's not your real name. I don't mind. I just... Thank you, Steve.
She'll turn to Maurice and have a bowl of... What would she be giving to Maurice?
Presumably some parts from Maurice's chefmatic enhancements that were damaged in the collapse.
Yes. These have a lot of egg on them, I'm afraid. Somehow...
Oh, yeah, no, that... Oh, God, okay. I can deal with that. I know how to put this thing back together just about. Oh, God, this is going to take some getting used to. And that, I know it looks like a gun, but it's a handheld microwave, okay? So, no need to report that.
Okay, that actually raises more questions than it answers. But what exactly were you doing at the place?
I don't know about the rest of these people, but I got called in for some. It was like a team building exercise. I was manning a bar cart. You pulled some people out of the rubble, right? You didn't happen to find like a dapper looking gentleman or a guy who looked like a car salesman, but like the rough kind of car salesman.
I'm afraid I don't know about the other people that were pulled out, only the ones that were sent to this particular shelter.
Ah, God. Well, I mean, they were a bit of a cockroach, so I'm sure they survived, and I don't think anything could take down old Ingram, so we're probably fine.
Okay, so team building... I don't really understand. What was going on at this warehouse?
Oh, I don't know. Some corporate event. You know how it is when you get a job like that. You don't really pay attention to the business side of things. We get paid. The people I came in with got paid to turn up, serve some drinks, play some music, that kind of thing.
I mean, it's
I was killing criminals.
Sorry, what?
I was killing criminals. I was on team breaking exercise. There were gang members meeting, and I was in there to beat them to death.
Okay, sorry. Maurice, was it? You were there for team building for gangs, and then you were there to kill the gangs.
I don't know about gangs.
Not to kill the gangs, just their leaders.
Okay, and sorry, clarity, you were... what was your part in all of this?
I was not there for either of those things. I was there to survey the building, and Clarity's just kind of gonna sort of glare at Bludgeon like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, we were just there to survey the building, check out the structure, see if the supports were still, sound. Obviously, they were not. That was in my report. I didn't think it was that unstable, but,
Jeez.
someone's going to get either fired or demoted, one of those corner offices near the bathrooms kind of situation. Obviously, I've lost all my papers in the collapse. When it's your life or your job, you want to pick your life. So,
Okay, well, I am aware there was some significant fire damage, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, well, this is all very confusing. Honestly, I'm not the person in charge. I'm not an investigator or anything. I'm sure this probably makes sense to somebody. You said you had an employer. Is there someone we should notify that you're awake and that you're...
No, God, no.
Don't want to bother them.
we put in our vacation requests for after this mission, after we did the surveying. So you don't have to worry about it. They know we're on vacation.
Yeah, that.
oh, wait, so you all work for the same person, the same company?
Yeah, Bludgeon just likes to make jokes. I was surveying, there was a party, and Bludgeon was just there as just some healthy backup for me. You know how it is when you're young and people like to pick on the kind of scrawny looking people, and so you befriend like the beefy guy.
Bludgeon cracks his knuckles.
That's kind of what was going on here. Sometimes, people just like to bully the city surveyor. They're like, "Oh, this building's fine, right?" And it's like, "No, there's multiple broken windows and these supports aren't level." I mean, you know how it is.
I'm terribly afraid that I don't, and I'm even more confused now, to be honest. But okay, I mean, what is very strange about this whole situation is that although you've been in a coma for a week, you otherwise seem completely unscathed.
Well, I mean, I've got bits falling apart on me. I mean,
Well, there is that, but
unscathed maybe a bit. And that person's like, they've got a bowl of bits over there. That's rough.
I mean,
have you heard of bedside manner?
well, the doctor that did originally examine you before sending you over said that all your biological parts were fully intact.
Oh, right, okay.
That's rather remarkable considering the damage done to every other corpse that's been taken out of the building.
I see how it is. Another one of those human doctors who says that, your robotic parts don't matter. I see how it is.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
You know how sometimes, like, a guy working construction can fall, like, off of the roof, like, it's 20 stories up, falls off, ends up in a coma, wakes up, and is perfectly fine. I think it's just one of those situations. We all just got extremely lucky, and I, for one, am grateful that we all have our health. I mean, in this day and age, isn't that something to be, proud and happy about?
I don't know what you're talking about, but it truly seems like a miracle. So, yes, okay.
We're clearly all very friendly people. We put out like a positive energy into the world. So when a building falls on you, the world puts its positive energy back into us, and things just work out okay.
Positive energy.
Okay. I don't really know what to do with all this information, but I'm glad that you're alive and awake. Hopefully your friend over there will wake up as well soon. Is there anything you'd like to ask of me, or you'd like me to contact anyone, or can I help you at all?
Do you know who owns that building? Former building?
It was abandoned. We weren't expecting anything from that district.
Yeah, I mean abandoned, right? But someone owns it. It's real estate in the city.
I suppose so, yes. You're probably right.
Basically, I think we've all got an excellent case here, and I'm sure we could sue to kickstart our own, individual personal goals in life.
Perhaps. It's not information I have, I'm afraid. But I'm sure you could probably track them down.
Steve is extremely litigious.
Okay.
I mean, where's okay, so you're looking after us, but is there like a supervisor we could speak to? Or is this just sort of like a collective people sort of situation? Is someone in charge?
Do you have a horizontal hierarchy?
There's a caseworker at the CSP who was in charge of the whole situation. I don't know if they're contactable in any way. I could put a word out that you'd like to speak to them. What's it regarding?
Oh no, I was just wondering. We don't need to do that, all that red tape and bureaucracy and conversation, blah blah blah. No. Though if you do have some spare wires lying around, that'd be great. So I can get to work on this. And Clarity just kind of gently shakes the bowl.
Oh, I got some here. I pull some wires from the mass of stuff that got handed to me. The bits that fell out of my arms, just here you go.
I think there's a hardware store a bit down the street that you might be able to gather some parts from, maybe. I don't have access to that sort of inventory myself. Like I said, this is more of a safe house than a repair station or anything like that. How much do you remember before you got blown up?
I remember having a significant amount of whatever currency we use.
Yes, I'd imagine that you'd still have that in your accounts if you're still able to access them. But maybe you could go down to the bank and see what you can retrieve from the credit store.
Yeah, probably. I guess I'll do that.
I guess the question that remains is, what would you like to do with your friend over here? You could just leave him and we can watch him until he comes to, and maybe you could come back tomorrow or in a few days. Is there a way we can contact you if he comes to?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe.
With all the piles of various bits and bobs of technological junk, could I make something that's I don't know, the future equivalent of a pager or something, or
Oh yeah.
I'm blanking on, I can't remember what they are, but those basically I want to make a two-way device that does nothing but can send and receive like a beep, basically. So like a really low budget pager. So I could leave one with this person and then I could have the other, and when it lights up, we'll know to go pick them up. Like getting one of those little hockey pucks when you go to
Yeah.
Olive Garden.
It's like a literal beeper.
Yeah, the horrific body equivalent.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a roll to see what you can construct then.
Okay.
We'll have the first roll of the season.
Yeah, it's been a bit too. So I just roll a d20 and add my skill. What do I do?
Yeah, whatever you can justify from your character sheet that would be involved in this sort of action.
Yeah, I think with this, just technology, because the other one is hacking.
Yeah, I think technology makes sense.
Yeah.
So just a plus one on the d20 here.
Ooh, nat 20.
Oh,
Nice.
wow, we're straight in
Nice.
with a learning. So, yeah, this would be a learning in something like crafting or something like that. I'll let you kind of word it however you like, but yeah, you get a learning towards that. And actually, what you'll discover, but you don't know maybe yet, is that whereas you used to, when you were Amazing Corp employees, you'd need 3 learnings to earn a new skill. Now you only need 2.
Ooh.
So if you already have something in a crafting related learning, you could instantly get your new skill right now. But I don't think you had any learnings before, did you?
No.
Okay.
I'd never rolled a 20 before, so.
We're strong, independent contractors now.
So basically what you've just done is you've created a +3 item, and we've actually never had one of these before in the game. So yeah, you now have a +3 communicator, and I suppose what you've described has a very specific purpose, but what you could do is you could add in a whole bunch of extra functionality that you're maybe not divulging to the lady. So maybe you could put a tracker on it or a voice transmitter or something as well if you want to. So
End-to-end encrypted text messages.
Yeah, and yeah, you can definitely have 2 of these, one which you can give to them or place onto Nox or whatever, and one to keep yourselves.
Yeah. So I think like after rooting around in the bowl and just realizing like, oh, okay, actually, most like, okay, so like 40% of this is like extra stuff and 60% of this is actually whisper parts. Clarity just kind of like whips together like this kind of like pendant shaped thing, kind of shaped like if you were trying to make a teardrop out of clay, but you are a novice, so you kind of messed up, so the bottom's a little bit more bulbous. But it's
Okay.
you can see where the attempt was made. It kind of looks like
Yeah.
like a thumbprint. That's like a thumbprint cookie. That's what I'm trying to go for here.
Oh,
That
okay.
kind of shape.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Clarity will make one for themselves, and then the other one, they'll hand it to Laura and just kind of give them like a quick explanation of, hey, when Nox wakes up, just press here lightly for like 3 seconds. It'll send me a signal, and we'll come back and get them. It's probably for the best we don't move them. But don't worry, this thing has ridiculous range. But yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Sure, okay. Well, we're in the west of the city at the moment. It's kind of a residential district. Is there anywhere I can point you to, or anything like that?
Maybe a coffee shop. What are the two of you think? I think maybe if we could just, sit, maybe kind of recalibrate ourselves, wake up the old internal clocks. We have been lying down for a week. I would like to move about a bit.
Bludgeon is nodding vigorously at that.
Maurice pauses a moment at the mention of coffee and thinks back to someone who would probably be very upset that they were choosing coffee. But, I got to move on, live your own life. So, sounds good.
Yeah, sure. Well, there's a diner just around the corner. It is probably best you don't go too far in case your friend does wake up. Do you know their name? Just so I know who to talk to when they come to.
It's Gary.
Oh, okay.
And Clarity kind of looks and shrugs.
You did say Nox when you handed it to them.
Did I?
As a heads up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't either. I was just like, okay, here's your thing. I was like, yeah, it's, they have 2 names, Gary Knox.
Gary Knox. Okay.
You know how it is when your parents name you like Drew, and you're like, I'm so not a Drew, and they have like a cooler nickname.
No, now they have 2 names. Our squad is broken.
It's Gary Knox. So Knox at some point is going to come too, and she's going to be like, "Hi, Gary," and he's going to go, "What?" Okay.
I have a quick question just
Sure.
about our surround, so what we were lying in, were they like full-fledged hospital beds or just cots, is there any, like, is there an IV pole? Is there monitors of any sort? Like what other stuff is in the room with us?
Okay, that's a good point. So you've been in comas for a week, she said. So you would have been on, you can see that there are basically cots. They're not like full comfortable padded beds or anything like that, but like army kind of style cots. And yeah, you would have had IV drips plugged into you just to keep you like hydrated and fed intravenously during your coma time.
But there's not like heart monitors or anything like that.
It sounds doubtful if the doctors checked us out and were like, yeah, you're fine. We're just in like recovery, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Do they put that sort of monitoring equipment on people in comas, even if they're like stable? I don't know.
They might.
Yeah. There's not high tech in this place. Like anything is like old tech.
Right. I'm just thinking about copper wire and circuit boards that I could potentially smash to give to Basil. But I'm also thinking about, so while they're having this discussion about Nox, I think Bludgeon is getting up and taking the IV out of his arm and tying up the tube, but then just grabbing the pole, like just and folding the cot up and like tucking it under his arm. Like
What, to take it with him?
yes, absolutely. Because it's probably got an aluminum frame and it's got, the canvas, which could be useful for either, keeping it as a cot to sleep on or turning into a small shelter of some sort. Like they said, oh, there's nobody else here. And they're all volunteers. So like, okay, so this doesn't belong to her. So
Okay.
I've woken up with nothing. So this is me starting over again. I'm gonna scavenge whatever's available. What's available is an IV stand and a cot, so they belong to me now.
Okay, so Laura's been conversing with Clarity and getting kind of shown how to use this beeper thing and stuff, and she'll turn and suddenly see Bludgeon is just packing up the whole station around him. She's like,
I'm sorry. That stuff is donations. You can't take that with you.
Yes, it has been donated, and I am grateful. Thank you.
she looks around nervously to all the other staff, and like they're all like fairly small, demure kind of people, and looks at Bludgeon and she's like,
Okay, maybe you could donate it back when you're finished with it.
Very good. Yes, we will keep it in circulation.
What has Maurice been doing during this time?
I think fiddling with their arm, trying to fit whichever parts from their possessions will fit back into the arm. They have some experience in maintaining cybernetics, but it is like layperson's experience, you know? It's like the stuff you learn because you have a robotic arm, not because you've like made arms.
Yeah.
So it's not working perfectly. It's sparking a little bit.
Let's have a maintenance roll.
Let's do it. Let's do a maintenance roll. Yeah, I probably can't really convince you of anything else here, can I? Apart from maintenance itself, which is a feature. Maybe I could solder with the microwave gun. I don't know if that would work.
I'll say, like, you do still have some of your Chefmatic enhancements. That they may be faulty, but you may still be able to utilize them in some way in this process.
True.
So, yeah.
I'll be honest, I couldn't think about how more egg could help in this situation.
I assume they've got, like, utensils and stuff in them, right? The Chefmatics.
That's true. Yeah, we've got like, you know,
get a steak knife as a screwdriver kind of thing, you know.
Can I help at all?
Yeah, absolutely, Basil. If you want to give a hand,
much appreciated.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so that will have no effect. Basically, this would have been a assist move. So if you'd rolled above a 10, then you would have added to Jen's roll, but you're probably too distracted with the conversation and whisper and stuff to be able to really effectively help.
That, and I don't think Clarity has ever seen that arm before.
yeah, especially in that state. Okay, Jen, let's have your maintenance roll with the Chefmatics.
That's a 5 plus Chefmatics and maintenance. That's a 7 total. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, you don't make much progress, I'd say. You just end up kind of jabbing your arm a bit, and maybe it looks a bit better, but it's not actually any more functional.
It's the sort of thing where I've poked and prodded it, and it like I've pushed some pieces back into place, and I sort of smile, going, "Yeah, that's fixed it." And I hold the arm up, and the pieces just fall out.
I imagine you're pushing something in, and something else is popping out the other side. Oh, I fixed that. Oh no, I've broken that bit.
Well, I can dispense eggs again, but the lemonade dispenser is doing steak sauce. Well, okay, cool.
Oh, God. I don't think... I'm not sure anyone wants those eggs right now. Okay, maybe I just... I'll just show you the way.
She'll open the door to this. It's quite a small hut. I don't know, like, we're talking a square room with 4 walls and a window and a door kind of situation here. It's not a big place. So she just opens the door and light streams in. It's the middle of the day. It's a quiet-ish street. There are some people around, but it's clearly kind of a suburban kind of area. And you can see there's a few shops. And yeah, she'll point down the street to where the coffee shop is, and she'll point down in the other direction to where the hardware store is. And like,
I suppose we'll still be here for the time being if you need anything else. And yes, my name is Laura. The others might be here if I'm not around, and well, they'll remember you for sure. So, yeah. It was an interesting experience meeting you all and everything. I hope you managed to figure out where you're going from here. Goodbye.
Thanks for making sure we didn't die or anything, Laura. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good to meet you too. Stay safe.
I mean, honestly, I really didn't have anything to do with it, but yes, it was it was fine.
You watched over us while we were helpless. This is not nothing.
Oh, this is true as well.
Do the CSP have like an app we can rate you on or something?
5 stars did not let us die.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so, but you may see me volunteering around. I like to donate my time when I'm able to.
You know what? Next time I see someone in a coma, I'll tell them, you go see Laura.
Sure, okay. Well, I'll continue to watch your friend, Gary Knox, and I'll send him your way when he comes to, and I'll press the thing.
And she goes to thumb the thing, and she's like,
Not right now, though. Yes.
So she'll open the door, and you guys can kind of wander out. I presume towards the coffee shop.
That seems like the direction, yes.
Welcome to the first mid-roll of the season. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for being so patient in the long wait for this to come out, but I hope you've enjoyed the cast interviews and DNA sessions that brought me the time to get some recording and editing in the bag for the new season. I hope you're enjoying it so far, and look forward to the somewhat newer format we've got going, where the players are taking the reins in terms of where they go and what they do, and I'm just here to provide the background dressing for their decisions. I'm also doing this thing now where I'm getting friends of the pod to provide voiceovers for the NPCs, so I'd like to give a quick shout out to Fiona Howard of the What Am I Rolling podcast, who you've already heard as volunteer medic Laura, and coming up you'll also hear Lou Fryer from Of Dice and Them, and finally Reprobate Gamer of Emerald Collective. Links to their shows and socials are in the show notes, as well as details of our lovely cast from this session.
Hello, and thanks for listening. I'm K.O. Myers. I'm a freelance podcast editor as Particulate Media. My website is particulatemedia.com.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I've been playing Maurice. I'm an actual play podcaster, and if you like my goofy little diner boy, you can find me playing other characters over on Tales from the Oasis, playing Cyberpunk Red, or you can catch me on Season 2 of Omen Investigations, playing Fate. Both of those shows available wherever you get your podcasts. Unless you get your podcasts from a gnome in the woods. What am I saying? They'll have our shows too.
Hey, I'm Basil. I play Clarity on Cybertopia. I am a game designer and sensitivity consultant, and you can find me still on Twitter as Kobanya_Kana, but you can also find me on Blue Sky as Kobanya. I'm also Kobanya on Pillowfort and Tumblr. If you're into tabletop RPGs, which I would assume you are, I have a game that just came out called Housekeeping, where you play as a Gremlin, which is a brownie gremlin hybrid, and you help to secretly clean up a home that you share with a human. It's a lot of fun, a lot of mischief, cozy. So yeah, check it out.
Finally, just before we get back to the show, one last thing I'd like to do is leave you with this ad from Omen, which Jen is in. Sean, who runs it, is a brilliant game runner, and someone I've known for a long time. Omen Season 1 was one of the shows that was a real inspiration to me making this whole thing, and the Christmas Spectacular they did in Season 1 makes our Season 1 finale pale in comparison. So go check out their new season, and if you haven't heard the original, I implore you to give it a listen.
Welcome everyone to the lovely town of Weymouth. A little spot where nothing unusual ever happens. Not a thing, just a normal town of normal people. No need to worry about anything strange here. Everything is totally fine.
Oh yeah, Weymouth? Yeah, no, it's great here. It's just, sunny skies, seagulls, no monsters. If you hear anything growling at night or seeing strange lights or anything, just completely normal. Just maybe fireflies? Yeah, fireflies.
Right, fireflies. Everything's under control. The town isn't teetering on the edge of a magical catastrophe or anything. And those occasional tentacle sightings, purely decorative. Local art project, really. Nothing here to see, folks.
Correct. Nothing to worry about. No anomalies detected yet. But if you do happen to see a small tear in reality, don't panic. Just walk in the other direction quickly and stay indoors at night for safety. just in case.
Right. So enjoy your time here in Weymouth. It's all very quaint, peaceful, definitely not haunted, sitting on a ley line or overrun by magical creatures. Everything is perfectly fine. That was a seagull. A big, hungry seagull.
Oh, sweet ass. I'll get the net.
Penny, get the big one.
If you're interested in visiting the town of Weymouth-on-Sea, then please check out Omen Investigations, Season 2, wherever you get your podcasts.
I think Bludgeon has sort of folded the canvas of the cot into kind of a bindle and then hung it from the IV pole. So the aluminum frame bits of the cot are sort of sticking out the top of it, but he's just kind of pushing it down the street, rolling it on the casters.
Okay. You being like a beefiest hobo kind of thing here.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Fair enough. So, you're walking down the street towards this coffee shop with your makeshift cart or whatever it is that you've constructed from this gurney that you've folded up.
The bludgeon buggy.
So you're walking along towards the coffee shop. Is there anything that anybody wants to do before you enter the coffee shop?
Is this the kind of society where there are just random drones flying around? Like, is this like a big surveillance state kind of universe, or?
This is a suburb, so probably less of that. Maybe in the main city, like CBD area, you'd see a lot more of that. Maybe you occasionally see like an airborne delivery drone or something going past, but it's not a constant buzzing thing.
Okay. I think then Clarity's just going to go into the diner.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you go into the diner, and a android lady is like the hostess, will welcome you in, point you towards a table. Doesn't really say much, just kind of nods and acknowledges.
Oh, whatever happened to service? Jeez.
I'm doing the best I can, sir.
Yeah, whatever.
She will hold out a menu tablet to you and point down the list. Doesn't read them out, just kind of gestures down the menu to you.
How may I serve you?
Are we eating here or are we taking out?
I mean, we don't really have a next location to head to, so maybe we should just kind of sit and gather our thoughts and come up with a plan. I'd like some pancakes, some eggs, some bacon, a glass of apple juice, and also a waffle, please.
Would you like anything on the waffle?
What comes on the waffle?
We can offer syrup, or chocolate, or fruit, or ice cream, any of the typical toppings you would like on a pancake or waffle, or any combination thereof.
Let me just get syrup and butter on my pancake, and then let me get syrup on the side and whatever berry compote you have back there for the waffle. I want that on the waffle, though, the compote, but the syrup on the side.
Okay, you're a hungry one.
No, this is a typical breakfast for me.
Okay, this isn't just because you've been in a coma for a week. Okay, she'll gesture towards Bludgeon and Maurice.
And for you two.
7 scrambled eggs, quarter pound of bacon, bowl of oatmeal.
Would you like the yolks in that scrambled egg?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And coffee, and makes it gesture, like puts one hand on the table and puts the other hand up in the air, indicating like a 64-ounce container. Or, I'm sorry, pints. Do we need to do pints for all you?
That's fine. It's large. I will understand that.
I will bring the jug. And for you?
Coffee. And you bring the jug. You're supposed to like bring the jug over and refill when you notice it getting low, but it's not completely gone. But I mean, if you want to leave the jug, that's one way of doing it, I suppose.
I'll bring 2 jugs and shall replenish as necessary. Okay.
And she'll zip off back to the order station, exchange some words with the chef through the window.
Is the chef a robot?
You can't see from the angle you're at, but you can hear she has the kind of robotic-y, android-y voice, and you hear that same sort of voice come back. So you'd probably guess they're at least an android. Okay, so yeah, you have some privacy for a little bit. You're at your booth, probably like a window booth so you can see out onto the street. Again, there's not much happening in this area. There's not a lot of clientele in the diner. And the hostess robot is kind of keeping busy.
So, what the fuck went down from your guys' point of view?
The whole building.
Yeah, I no figure of. Yeah, okay. I'd gotta be straightforward with you, huh, bud?
Yes, I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve.
So we punched, we killed. There was the underground, the freethinkers, and the ABS. We went in through the roof, and we tried to talk them out of forming an alliance. When they were not listening to us, we killed them.
Makes sense.
Oh, sorry. First, the robot falls through ceiling, and
that's what that was. Yeah. No shit.
The man inside, I think, died. I don't think he. I don't.
No.
He not moving. Then we climb in through hole and kill gang leaders, and then building blows up.
We were escorting these robots. I thought they were supposed to just clear out part of the building, but then there were people in the building, and we had to stop them. I lost a lot of tech just trying to get those robots to stop. But, I am glad that, we managed to save them and that the kids were okay. There were a lot of kids down there that really stressed me out. But yeah, all the robots blew up. It was a mess.
The robots blew up.
Amazing Core robots.
Yeah, there were 3 of them.
Explosion come from Amazing Core. Oh, this is no good.
Yeah, there were bombs in the robots.
Oh, those goddamn assholes.
Yeah, so I'm not too keen on going back to work.
No.
No.
Hell no. Maybe just to strangle that goddamn robot.
So hold on. They send us to do killing, but then also send robots to blow up building to also do killing.
Maybe to cover their tracks?
Cover their loose ends, huh?
Yes, is not the backup killing plan, is killing us to hide our killing.
Yeah. I don't know what you both got up to during your time with Amazing Core, but well, I did some pretty crappy things for them. I'm sure they wouldn't want it getting out.
At this point, the waitress comes back with she's got actually 3 jugs of coffee and a very large juice as well that she plonks down on the table.
Just signal when you have finished these, and I will bring more over.
Thank you.
And then she'll zip back to the kitchen.
You'd think with like sensors and stuff, they could tell when that. Never mind. Sorry, you'll get me going.
It's probably quite an old tech kind of place. The hostess is probably the most advanced piece of machinery that you can see.
Yeah, I know.
Bludgeon, if there's a lid on top of one of the carafes, just pops that up and starts drinking from the pour spout.
It's hot.
Oh, that's fine. He doesn't care.
Actually, let's have a roll. Let's have a roll to take this scalding hot coffee.
Okay. Well, I'm going to add my +1 for beefy.
Yep.
I'm glad I kept it.
That.
And then I rolled a 17, so that's an 18.
Okay, you're fine. Thanks just down in it. The other 2, you were like, wait.
He blows some steam out of his nose like he was smoking a cigarette.
I'm imagining there is steam like emanating from little holes that have like been punctured in your body in various places.
Probably, yeah.
Do you whistle like a kettle at this point is the question.
I doubt it. I think it's more of just the steam comes leaking out. I don't think it's stiff enough to make an armature.
See, other people get coffee sweats. Bludgeon gets coffee steams.
Yeah, there you go. I'm like a humidifier, basically.
So those guys really wanted us dead, huh? What the fuck do we do now? The most powerful corporation in the city, the only real corporation in the city, wants us dead. I mean, do they know that we survived?
If they knew we were alive, we probably wouldn't be.
Yeah, I vote. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for y'all, but I plan on changing up my hair after I get something to eat, and pretty much going to ground. You can make like a somewhat comfortable life down in the sewers.
Yes. Laying low sounds good.
Laying low sounds good, but honestly, I honestly don't know if I can live with myself doing that. I laid low for a while after I lost my last job, and fell into the Amazing Core job, and look where that left us.
It was fair.
Kind of feeling like, I don't know if it's laying down for a week, but I'm kind of feeling invigorated. Feeling like sticking it to the man.
I could think of several people in hierarchy at the Amazing Core who could use killing.
That's the spirit.
But Clarity makes good point that resources are a problem.
True.
Bludgeon sort of looks down at his knuckles, which I'm assuming are still kind of cracked and split, and says, frontal assault, maybe not smartest idea.
Yeah, fair. Maybe we, I don't know, undermine them. Get at them slowly without them noticing. I had a couple ideas rattling around. I'll have to think them over.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should give up. I'm just saying we need to take a moment, regroup. I need to get hooked back into the network. Which actually, speaking of Ben, I vaguely recall in one of the previous episodes I was in, did I saved a copy of like a schematic? Do you remember that?
That kind of rings a bell. Yeah.
It's when I was talking to that guy about the wonders of soup. I had downloaded some extra information onto a flash drive, but
Yes.
I know narratively we hadn't made that a piece of gear, so I don't know whether Clarity still has that on their person. I also don't remember what was on that. It was like a list of contacts or information.
Yeah, so the soup guy was connected to one of the 3 factions that you went and destroyed. So you'd gotten some contacts and details of them that were used to then lead to the finale destination. So yeah, you downloaded that onto your like personal online storage somewhere. So if you can get access to a network, you can re-access that stuff.
Okay, because I'm wondering whether if all those contacts are dead or whether there's still a few. And I think Clarity's just gonna tell the others like, I had some information saved on the cloud, on my personal cloud, because I did not fully trust Amazing Core. So if we just need to get to a more secure location, and I can get to work with getting some systems back up, and I can start doing some poking around. But we also should try to put that in place after we get Nox. I don't feel comfortable leaving them where they are once we start doing this.
So you'd know, if you wanted to, that any business in the city would have a network connection, and so you would be able to wirelessly connect into that if you had the equipment to do so, possibly with that thing that you crafted back in the medic hut. You'd be able to connect to the internet through that.
Does this diner have one of those connections?
Yeah, the diner would definitely have a connection, probably like a citywide Wi-Fi kind of situation. It's just like the whole city is networked.
Okay. I think then while Clarity's waiting for like the food to show up, they're just going to take a couple sips from their apple juice and then be like, I'm just going to quickly check and see what I can find out. Do a little bit of a background skim, see if I can find anything.
Okay. Let's have a roll then. Are you just going surface level, or are you going to try and hack into the networks to get more under the surface?
I think Clarity starts out with a surface skim, but is definitely doing some hacking to figure out, like, you know, like what is the current status at Amazing Core? Like, do they know where we are, or are we like basically labeled as dead and our files are closed? That kind of thing. Trying to look for like a back door into the system to look at like personnel files or whatever they have on us.
Okay. Yeah.
You're a hacker, right? That I get the vibe.
Yeah, you know, I know my way around a few programs and systems. And Clarity kind of winks.
Shit, I mean, you know, I said I did some bad stuff for Amazing Core.
Yes.
If you're going looking around in their files, there are a couple of couple of hackers who I may have sent for some interrogation a little while back. You know, Pylon 1?
Yes.
There were some folks sniffing around there, and I kind of got them carted off. Big, in chairs, deep diving kind of guys. And, well, shit, if while you're looking, if it's not too much trouble, if you got any information on if they, if they're still alive and what happened to them, that'd be cool. I kind of feel like I owe them an apology or a rescue or something.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks.
Let's have the hacking roll then from Clarity. You can include the +3 from the item that you crafted, and probably technology and hacking in this.
Okay. I know Whisper is broken, but can I, use the half of Whisper that I have to try to, boost the signal a bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They do still have some functionality, even if they're not able to really drone at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Ooh. Okay, that was an 18 on the die. So that's 3.
Nice.
That's like a
4,
24 total.
6. Yeah, I think so. Math.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a 24.
Above a 20 is grand for this. Okay, so you super speedy quick, managing to dive right into the networks and pull up lots and lots of information. What you find actually, though, is the interesting thing is what you don't find, and that is any mention of you or your buddies anywhere in any of the systems. You have clearly been scrubbed clean. You do not exist, you did not exist, you never existed, and you were never employees of Amazing Core. I guess also regarding what Maurice was asking about with those hackers that Maurice had gotten imprisoned previously, they have been put into stasis within Amazing Core, and they are still kind of on ice in Amazing Core HQ somewhere.
Okay. I think just because, for clarity, a diner is not exactly the most secure location cybersecurity wise, I think they're going to go ahead and stop their search there and turn Whisper back off and put everything back to normal and just sort of turn to Maurice and go, okay, so I found them. They're just kind of basically in cryostasis. They're basically asleep. They're not dead. That's the good part. I didn't want to dig further to see where they are because you never know. There's always those flags and I don't want to trigger something and then we got to leave this diner in a hurry. But they are still alive. So we'll just put that on the to-do list for maybe
cool.
A rescue mission later.
Okay, I mean, that's good to know.
Also, we don't exist anymore.
Oh.
According to Amazing Core, we never worked with the company. We're just ghosts in the system.
I mean, I guess we were off the books.
I guess this also means we don't get severance pay.
Shit.
That's actually another excellent point there. Whilst you were scanning through, you'd notice not only do you not exist to Amazing Core, you don't exist to the world. So you don't actually have bank accounts.
Oh, fuck.
What I'll say is because you rolled so damn high is that whilst you were doing that, you very quickly were able to just mock up a fake identity that you've attached to your own biometrics so that you can have a bank account just instantly that has appeared and somehow has lots of money in it. So you personally, Clarity, don't have to worry about money kind of ever again. You're not going to be super duper rich because that would probably set off some red flags, but you are in a comfortable way right now.
All right. I just say, oh yeah, so food's on me.
Thanks. So fresh starts, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. As long as we don't run into anyone we used to work with or who would recognize us, which is all the more reason why I think we should probably, change our identities a bit, change up your hair, maybe...
Looks at Bludgeon with the baldness.
Start wearing a toupee.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, Bludgeon picks up a salt shaker or a napkin dispenser or something else that would have a shiny surface and is kind of looking at his face and twitching his mustache a little bit and thinking his only distinguishing feature is this mustache that he's very unreasonably proud of.
Oh no.
Sort of scowling at himself.
Yeah, you might have to shave that. Or, just get a wig. You'd be surprised how much different people look with a wig, especially if it's like a different color. Me personally, I'm definitely changing my hair color ASAP.
I'm imagining Bludgeon with an amazing toupee right now.
Oh yeah, it's Shatner level. But we'll have to rely on Clarity to buy it for him because he doesn't have any money apparently.
Yeah, you two are now at Clarity's mercy, really.
Does Amazing Core have delivery drones? Can we get on-demand disguise kit pieces?
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon you probably could.
I love the idea of going, we don't want them to know we've changed our appearance, so we'd better order the things to change our appearance from them. And the wild thing is it would work because of how much they do and how lost in the system that would possibly be, but it's very funny to me.
Amazing Core brand disguises. At this moment, the waitress will come back over with many plates all dotted along her arms and just got to slide them onto the table, and you now have a huge table full of food.
Show off.
Bludgeon is going to scrape all of the scrambled eggs and all of the bacon into the bowl of oatmeal and then hand her back whatever plates that came from, and then just start and mix it all together with a fork and then just start shoveling it into his mouth.
I imagine if she had them, her eyebrows would raise, but she's got a pretty robotic face, so she just kind of turns and heads back to the kitchen without a word.
Is there the 32nd century or whatever it is equivalent of a Spirit Halloween where we could go and get cheap costumes that wouldn't be drone ordered from Amazing Core?
There was a series of small shops along the high street that you're on, so you can probably go and find a normal clothing shop or even a thrift store or something like that, maybe.
There you go.
Maurice is sort of staring daggers at the waitress as she leaves and silently refills their own coffee mug from their arm.
Oh, is the coffee function working?
That's up to you. I think I put it thoroughly in your hands as to when the chef-matic enhancements go wrong.
I mean, it's not a roll unless you want to make it a roll, but
I don't know.
It can work at a rudimentary level, yeah.
Yeah. Fueled by pure jealous hatred, it works.
Yeah, so you can have your drinks, you can have your breakfast, get yourself fueled up, and continue on with your day. I suppose there's no problem with having to pay now because Clarity has sorted that end of things out. Do you want to do anything else at the diner or discuss anything else before you move on?
No, I think the plan from here is just to find a 30th century Halloween spirit place and hit it out.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. Someplace that's, it's not going to be the highest quality, obviously, but something that is outside of the Amazing Core stream. Oh, maybe more like a blonde shag would be.
Oh, I like it.
Or just a wizard hat.
I tell you what, I know a place that we could go to after we pick up some disguises, lay low a little bit. No one there will bother us, and it's full of old tech. I'm sure you dig it, Clarity.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
I got this old contact over at the Appliance and Robotics Connections building. They call it the lead bank, right? They've been squatting there, or the city thinks they're squatting there. And there's a bunch of old tech guys, a lot of stuff that's off the grid, and it's a good, safe place. No one will come looking for us there.
I think that might be in the east side of the city. But yeah, you'd be able to hail a taxi to get over there or something. So
yeah, it's like where we can go to live overnight rather than, trying to find a place that costs a bunch of money. Just an emergency shelter, essentially.
So if we're in the west side of the city, then we would be probably within or near the Cracks sphere of influence, right? Was that something that Bludgeon would know about?
Potentially. Tell the group about Cracks, because you and I are the only people that would have known about them.
Makes sense. So yeah, Cracks was the faction that I came up with during the DNA. sessions, and I was thinking of them literally as like people who have fallen through the cracks of this tech society. And so they are folks who are living in reclaimed spaces and neglected, some underground, some squatting in buildings and things like that, and that they have managed to collectivize enough that they have taken over some spaces, and some of them have become shelters or temp to permanent living spaces, and they're just starting to organize now from cells into a larger structure that is sort of trying to make safe spaces and resources for people who want to or have been forced to opt out of the corporate tech system. And they have the first building that they've like legit purchased is a greenhouse and sort of warehouse space in the northwest of the city that they're sort of turning into a community garden / farmer's market, food pantry kind of thing.
So I think you would all like have some cursory knowledge of these smaller factions. You probably wouldn't have been like deeply knowledgeable in them, or like they're very much background kind of factions to the city. I mean, Amazing Corp is basically everything, and all this other stuff was smaller. And like the three factions that you fought in the finale were obviously below Amazing Corp. This stuff was all way below that even. So you'd know of them, but probably not in detail.
Okay. So I think Bludgeon would say Krax is probably around somewhere here. I, can lift things, and Clarity, you are useful tech person. Maurice, I'm sorry. You must do something. I don't know what. If we have service to offer, perhaps could trade for food or shelter.
It's not a bad plan.
Most importantly, they will not. I don't think they fuck with Amazing Core credit or record keeping.
Yeah, I think the issue you might run into with trying to find Krax is that you're not going to be able to get in a cab and say, hey, go to Krax.
No, that's fair.
But like, if you can find yourself as some random person who would have been one of these people falling through the cracks, you may be able to make a contact or something, but you'll probably have to search around for them.
Yes. Man, there will not be a Krax hiding here sign. We'll need to ask around.
Okay, so I think we can jump ahead a little bit here and say, yeah, you've gone out to the local shops and gotten yourself some new clothing and stuff. Maybe changed up your looks a little bit. Where are you wanting to go? You wanting to go to this lead bank on the other side of the city? Because that would be probably a known location to cabbies.
Oh, okay.
Don't hate that idea. I also think it's full of old tech, so if Clarity wanted to get Whisper up and running again, it's kind of a hack space kind of vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I would go for that.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Yeah. So you roll up on this lead bank, and it's a Jen. You created this. Why don't you describe the lead bank to us?
Yeah, sure. So the lead bank is its colloquial name, but it's actually the Appliance and Robotic Connections Community Center. It's a former mechanics workshop that has grown to become a hub for old tech to come together, recharge, collect spare cables, parts, and connect with each other. The city thinks that they're squatting there, but really the arc welder out back inherited it when the owner died, and the ARC have been trying to get the city to recognize the deed for the building, but they've had no luck so far. And they receive a lot of old tech from various parts of various organizations in the city. It's kind of a hack space squat for old tech, stuff that's just not compatible with the Amazing Core infrastructure or standards.
Yeah, so you lot kind of rock up to this place, and it's basically a junkyard.
Hell yeah.
And you walk in, and there's a few people kind of sifting through piles of garbage and like old appliances and broken fridges, that sort of thing, some discarded microwaves. And you can see at the back of this place there's like one of those old Winnebago kind of truck things that would be like where this arc welder would be stationed, that apparently owns this place.
Yeah.
So are you just going to go and like start digging around, or you want to go and meet someone, or?
Hey, it's just a walk in and do your thing kind of place. So if we want to lay low and not draw attention to ourselves, we can do that. Or we could go meet. Shoot, I need an arc welder name. A name that sounds like a model of arc welder.
Archie.
Yeah,
Archie the
that's
arc
so
welder.
good. Or we could go meet Archie, and I could introduce you. Archie's a good machine. We've done a lot together in the past.
Well, I'm down to meet them.
So as you're walking through, you'll see that there are a few kind of workstations and like tool setups and stuff so that people can do some like rudimentary mechanics and whatnot. So if Basil, you want to go off and start trying to have a wee tinker with anything you can find on this site, you could do that whilst the other two go and talk to Archie, or you can go to talk to Archie and then come back and try and do that after. Up to you.
It's also kind of just a social space as well, like old tech connection hub, you know? There'd be people just hanging around as well.
Some people doing a little swap shop kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, like old sofas stacked in a corner, and there's people in various groups around and things like that.
Yeah, I think just to be polite, Clarity wants to go say hi, but they're definitely like, 20% of their brain is already devoted to like, oh, I could do that and I could grab this. And so
just spotting bits as you're walking through, being like, oh yeah, take note of that one, take note of that. Yeah, that would be useful. Yeah.
So as I walk people over to this Winnebago, I just sort of turn around and go, just a heads up, Archie's a bit pissed off about me taking the amazing core job. So this might be a little awkward at first, but they're a good bot, so it'll be all right.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Are we moving back in with your ex?
No, nothing like that. No.
So let me just get this straight. Is it actually just a full-on machine?
Yes.
It's a machine. Okay, right.
It's an arc welder. It's a full-on big old arc welder.
Okay.
I'm sure it has some sort of autonomous nature because we have a working relationship.
It has a personality and stuff. It's not just a machine.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But it may as well be, you know?
Is Maurice leading the way into this Winnebago thing then?
I am indeed.
Okay. So as you go in, you can hear the like sparking of an arc welder working. And as soon as Maurice steps a foot in, the arc welder stops. They're facing away from you, so they don't see you. But they've definitely detected your presence somehow.
Hey, Archie?
The machine turns slowly around to face you. Lets out a little spark from the welder.
Well. Look what the trash brought in.
Yikes.
Yeah. I deserve that.
Not good enough for amazing core, either.
Yeah, you could say things kind of blew up over there. I had a lot of time to think. About a week unconscious. Shit, man.
Oh, are you talking about the warehouse explosion?
Oh, fuck.
That was you.
It's shit. It made the news, huh?
Everyone knows about the...
And it raises its arc welder up in the air like it's doing air quotes.
demolition.
Yeah. Listen, it wasn't meant to go down like that, and I swear we had nothing to do with blowing the place up. It was amazing core, Archie. We're trying to work it out, but we think they wanted to tie off loose ends, and there were kids down there, man, and fuck, I don't know. Like, things can't go on like this.
The arc welder part just kind of lowers slowly.
Hate to say I told you so.
No, you don't, Archie. Come on, don't bullshitter.
You're right, Maurice. I could never stay angry at you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. Shoot. I should introduce you. Sorry. This is Bludgeon and Clarity. Sorry, Steve and Clarity. Fuck. And they dragged him out of the building along with me, and shit, we kind of don't really have anywhere to go.
Also, amazing core hacks. Okay. What can I do for you?
Honestly, we just need a place to lay low a little bit. We won't get in your hair, but shoot. Well, our friend lost a drone, and God, the parts they bought out of that building, man, all over the place. My arm's fucked, and we're off grid, man.
I see.
Yeah, this is not even my real hair.
We are not really in the business of accommodation.
I brought my own. He sort of unfolds the cut.
Please, not in here.
Well, sorry.
I can offer you some space outside for the night.
That'd be perfect, man. Just somewhere we know we're not gonna get the corpos knocking down the door, you know?
They would not dare.
I know, man, I know.
The bots outside may be able to assist you in your repairs. Here, let me take a look at your arm.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, man.
And I'm going to roll a dice now, because I've not rolled any
hell
dice.
yeah.
I want to roll a dice for Archie. All right, that's decent. Okay. Archie just gives your arm a quick whiz over with the arc welder, and it doesn't really repair the functionality as such, but it makes it look a lot more presentable.
Stop sparking quite so much. I'm less likely to electrocute people.
Yeah, absolutely. And like tucks in some wires and whatnot.
Sweet.
You will need to do some deeper repairs to get it back up to snuff, but that is a start. There should be plenty of gear out there that you can repurpose for your needs. I am sorry to hear about your drone.
Oh, thank you. I mean, Whisper's not lost. They're in here, and Clarity kind of just shakes the bowl a little bit. You know, I think it just needs some new circuit boards, some new compressors. Maybe I can finally add that undercarriage lighting, for parties.
Interesting. I wonder, with your being off grid and all, what is your plan from here?
Honestly, I think you guys are right, and I don't want to bring heat down on you. So if I want to get some revenge and make some things right, it's gonna come from a place away from here. But I want to do what I can to help you undermine their position. And I mean, you know how many bots they employ, right? Or employ in air quotes.
You know just how to pull on my heartstrings.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you should go over and see Tampa over at the City Limits Junkyard. They will be most interested and be able to provide you with some, shall we say, armaments in your quest.
That sounds real helpful. Thanks, Archie. I'll make a note of that.
I must warn you that Tampa is not the most approachable of fellas.
Well, you know me, I've got that smiling sunshine charm.
Funniest line of the season already.
Hey, Maurice hasn't got used to having a gruff voice yet. They're used to that line working.
By the way, what happened to your sultry tones?
Karma.
Fair enough. I have a repair to get back to, but come see me later if you have more time to spare.
Of course, man.
If you need anything hit very hard, you can. I am happy to earn, to work for accommodation for lodging. Just let me know.
Please do not break too much.
No, not. You tell me if you need anything broken. I won't break without permission.
We are more in the business of repairs, but I shall let you know.
To create, you must destroy.
Maybe if you've got a forklift out of action, that kind of thing.
Interesting. You have changed, Maurice.
Yeah, 20 tons of rubble will do that to a person.
I shall talk to you later.
And it will turn back around and start just sparking away at whatever it was working on before.
And I guess we leave.
Okay, so you can go back out into the junkyard. And anyone that wants to do some scavenging, you can do some scavenging rolls. If you want to do repairs, you can do some repair rolls, whatever you'd like to try and do.
Yeah, I think now that they've gotten permission, Clarity just kind of runs out full tilt and just jumps into one of the piles.
Scrooge McDuck dives in.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought they'd get a kick out of this place.
There's so much tech!
Just doing backstroke for it all.
I would be happy if I can assist either with helping Clarity find parts or by searching for parts myself, assist with a repair roll. I would be happy to do that. Neither Bludgeon nor I is like, oh yeah, we're going to fix our own shit, but would be happy to help. I think Bludgeon remembers how effective Whisper was on the breaking up the pharmacy job. And so it's like, yes, one little flying robot back in action.
Okay, so what I'll say is that you can do an assist roll for the searching. Maybe you're helping move large items out of the way and stuff.
Sure. Okay.
And I'd say you could probably add beefy to that because
excellent. Okay.
Big.
That's another good roll. I rolled an 18 plus 1, 19.
Nice.
Okay, so that will give Clarity a +2, and also if Maurice is doing searching as well, we can apply that as well. So you can both have a +2 to your searching rolls. Maurice and Clarity. Let's go Clarity first since you've already dived in. So let's have a searching roll from you.
Yeah, that's. Oh, why? Oh dear. Well, Clarity rolled a 1, which I imagine narratively is because they dived in instead of just looking around properly like a normal person.
Wow.
So I think it's probably like tech overload. They're like, oh, this would be so great. Oh, but this would be so great. Oh, I haven't seen this in years. Oh, isn't this illegal?
Yeah, I think tech overload is a great phrase for it, actually. So, I mean, as well as getting your first nat 20 of the season, you're getting the first trauma of the season as well with that nat 1. So you will get a -1 tech overload trauma.
Nice.
This will just be like you just get overwhelmed when there's some cool technology or lots of tech around, and that'll be very distracting and stuff. So to get rid of this, you'll have to roll 3 successes against it, or if you ever roll a nat 20, you'll turn it instantly into a new skill. So that will stick with you. This is no longer a situation like you had at Amazing Corp where you lose your traumas at the end of the mission because you can go back in your stasis pods. The traumas will stick with you until you get rid of them now.
Sick.
Okay, so Maurice and Bludgeon both just lose Clarity. They have dived into the junk, and you can occasionally, maybe their head occasionally just pops out of some other pile of rubbish. And you're like, how did you get over that? What? But essentially, they are out in a world of their own right now. So, Jen, is Maurice doing a scavenge as well?
No, I think honestly, seeing Archie and coming back to this place after spending so long at Amazing Core has kind of hit Maurice a little bit. They perhaps weren't expecting to be forgiven quite so easily, and I think they're just sitting and reflecting at this point.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's not like a Gen character to not have a thing to say, but that's kind of where they're at.
No, it's very fitting actually. Yeah, it's nice to have a background kind of thing come to the fore. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bludgeon, what are you doing and thinking after you've just kind of maybe lifted up a fridge or something, got on a freezer out the way for clarity, and then they've just disappeared? You're just kind of standing around now in the middle of the junkyard.
Yeah, I'm pictured sort of like levering it up in the air and looking underneath it, and clarity is nowhere to be found. And like thinking about, well, I think there's a couple of things. I think is glad that he woke up with at least one person who was familiar, and he knows to be like smart, because Bludgeon, I think, is very aware of himself as being just. He's got skills that none of them are really mental or investigative, and so like he's happy to be pointed in a direction, but having somebody who knows how to figure out what direction to go in, I think feels comforting. And he's also hoping that they'll be able to repair the tech that he's got left.
Do you want to try and find someone that could repair it for you in this place?
No, I think at this point he's still assuming that that's something that Clarity would be able to do.
Okay, when they finally reappear.
Yeah, they seem pretty confident about putting Whisper back together, and I don't think Bludgeon assumes that any of the tech that he's got is any more intricate or difficult to manage than that. So, but I think there is also a little bit of protectiveness, because like the assumption that Clarity is also probably on the small side, maybe not physically large or strong, and so Bludgeon is like, okay, I want to make sure that this person is kept safe, both for their usefulness and then also just as an ally, right? This is a person that I can rely on, so I want to make sure that they're safe. And so as Bludgeon is like lifting pieces out of the way and not seeing Clarity, I think there's a little bit of like a, well, no, where did they go? And sort of starts searching a little bit, and I'm picturing it being sort of Scooby-Doo-ish, like the head will pop up over here, and there'll be a little
like whack-a-mole going on here,
a little spray of circuit boards and stuff, and a wow, and so he'll go over there to try to pull them up from the pile, wrestle them out of the pile to keep them from getting tetanus or whatever, and then by the time he clambers down one pile and up the other pile, they're popping out over here, and so there's a little bit of a comical like going back and forth trying to pin them down. But I think that's most of what's going through Bludgeon's head. Is Bludgeon works best in the short term. What's the immediate next step? And so temporarily we've got shelter taken care of. We've got food in our bellies, so the physical safety is the next thing. And Maurice seems to be a little bit more at home here and has some connections, whereas we are not, don't have maybe that same in, and so wants to make sure that Clarity is safe.
Cool. Yeah. Eventually, Clarity emerges from the piles of tech, and it's just covered, and it's carrying as much stuff as a person that size could possibly carry, but also just has stuff stuck to them, like in their hair, like circuit boards just like sticking out of their arm and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Like Clarity is like pinned like components to their hair. Like just sort of like you can see like they've used like their locks to like tie off different sections so that they can have more stuff with them, and it's just clanking against like their hair, and they're like, look at all that I found. Oh, I cannot wait to just start welding.
Love it.
Okay, let's have a repair roll then for you for fixing whatever it is you're wanting to be fixing. I'm assuming Whisper is the priority here.
Yeah, we're gonna try to fix Whisper, so let's see what we get. Oh, good lord. That's another one.
Oh,
no! Wow. Okay, right. I'm going to increase your tech trauma to -2. That's rough.
It's just too much. Clarity's like, I can't ever leave here. The adventure ends here. Clarity leaves the party and just becomes part of the trap.
The big bad was choice paralysis.
They're at this tool station, and every time they go to like fix something on Whisper, they notice something out of the corner of their eye, and they're like, "Oh, that could do it." And then they slip, and they do a bit more damage, and they have undone what they've just fixed. And like, oh no, it just keeps on going back, and you're not making any progress here. Just getting more and more distracted.
At some point, you decided that Whisper definitely needed a zip drive. And I mean, that took like a whole hour and a half.
You started installing Bluetooth and then you're like, no, wait, no one uses Bluetooth anymore. The upshot of this -2 trauma is that if you roll a nat 20 on this, it will turn into a +2 skill. So, yeah, potentially you could get a big bonus out of this if you can stop rolling nat 1s.
Or you roll 3 or 4 more ones and then roll a nat 20.
Oh, shit.
But you have to keep doing it in fairly low stakes situations like this where you have a chance to do it over again later.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how low stakes it stays.
Oh no. The worst thing is if you roll a nat 1 and think you've repaired it perfectly. And then
Oh, this gives me good ideas.
Turns out it's the Amazing Corp Hunter drones are the only other thing that still uses Bluetooth.
So yeah, you're probably like working through the night trying to repair Whisper on this. The other two, I'm assuming you'll just kind of bunk down and just chill out, maybe grab yourself some tea and dinner at some point. And yeah, Clarity is just kind of lost to you, just in a world of their own, going and grabbing stuff, doing more work, coming back, doing more, not really interacting with anyone or anything else, just very much in their own little world. And you two eventually drift off to sleep. In the morning, wake up and see, oh, Clarity is still at that workstation. Oh my god. They must be like just dead. But eventually, Whisper just kind of hovers up into the air. And Clarity is fairly sure not completely like repaired back to their old self, but functional at least.
I think at that, like, finally getting it done, like, there's just, like, a moment where Clarity is just kind of staring at Whisper, and then it's just like, oh, I did it! Yeah, I knew I didn't need to add a panini press. Oh, man, that's silly.
Wait, there's a panini press going spare?
Yeah, it's over there in that pile of I finally made a pile of bad idea, and you just kind of see like this kind of like medium-sized mound of like tech and whatnot, and there's just a panini press just kind of sticking out of it.
I could shove this in here somewhere.
I need a bad idea pile.
Just keep it under your toupee.
No, I don't mean Bludgeon. I mean me. I need a bad idea.
So shortly after that, the beeper goes, and you're alerted that Nox has come to.